A very warm welcome to you at home. I am Musam Khalipi and welcome to Afroshowbiz Newz, the show that keeps you in the know about all things art and entertainment from around Africa. As always, we love hearing from you, so keep those emails coming. Our email address is afroshowbiznews@sabc.co.za. Also follow us on Twitter. Our handle is @Afroshowbiz Newz. Now let's have a look at stories making headlines this week. A South African artist pays homage to 3 of the country's musicians of yesteryear. Iconic photographer Dr. Amita Mchenry joins us for a discussion in studio. And we find out a bit more about the Ugandan fashion. Nomalungelo, a solo exhibition by Amita Mchenry, is taking place at the Constitution Hill in Johannesburg. It is currently running until the 4th of April, 2014.
Amita Mchenry reuses her mother's old silk sari in her new exhibition. She titles it Nomalungelo, Threads to Freedom. The artist has embroidered threads and fragments of these garments into a series of 8 delicate portraits that trace the legacies of Miriam Makeba, Dorothy Masuka, and Brenda Fassie. Through her process, Mchenry gives a renewed life to these 3 queens of international music. She traces their remarkable contribution to igniting the flames of South African freedom.
The exhibition is about my mother, who had Alzheimer's for 12 years. She passed away in September 2009. I was grief-stricken. And soon after, I started reading Miriam Makeba's biography. It inspired me to start creating again. The series blossomed into a celebration of South African icons, namely Dorothy Masuka, Miriam Makeba, and Brenda Fassie.
Her celebration of freedom through art then ends up paying homage to all those who used music to fight for the country's liberty.
If you talk about South African photography, then you know Dr. Amita Mchenry's name would be on top of the list. He was in Soweto on June 16, 1976, when school kids were killed by police for protesting for their liberty. He's won loads of awards from many countries around the world. Dr. Mchenry's work is part of an exhibition called A Struggle Without Documentation is No Struggle. It is with huge excitement that I welcome him to Afroshowbiz Newz tonight. Hello, Doctor, and welcome to the show.
Good morning.
Now, Doctor, first and foremost, why did you call your exhibition A Struggle Without Documentation is No Struggle?
Excuse me. No, those youngsters didn't want pictures to be taken. And I said to them, the world will not know what you're doing or what's happening in South Africa, especially what's happening in Soweto. And then one in the middle of the crowd said, no, don't worry, I know him. Let him photograph. Then I said, no, this is not for me only. There are many photographers here. Don't trouble them. Just let them do their work, because at the end, you are winners. Because, as you know, a struggle without documentation is no struggle. We are here to document what is happening.
Now, Doctor, please take us through what sort of works are included in your exhibition.
Ooh, that is the first day in Soweto. Sharpeville. The what do you call this now?
Now, Doctor, rather take us through what are sort of the memories you got from shooting these pictures?
Well, these children were determined in what they were doing. They were not divided, they were together. Whatever crowd you come across, it is the same crowd. They're fighting for the same thing. The police did the best they could, but it didn't work, because these children were determined. Unlike the usual politicians who keep on saying Africa, Africa, these kids were determined.
Now, Doctor, how has the response been from audiences about the exhibition?
They were very excited, especially that it had pictures of the past, which they had never seen before. And then I was elated to see how excited these people were, black and white. Yeah.
What are you hoping that audiences will leave with once they've seen your exhibition?
Well, they will understand that and respect the life they have today, because yesterday it was not the same. You walk in the streets, you've got to be sure that you have that piece of document called reference book, but then it was first called passbook, which was carried by black people only. Coloureds and Indians carried, what was it called? Coloured document. Yeah.
Now, Baba, we are in 20 years of democracy. What would you like to share with other upcoming artists around the country?
Well, what I would like to share with them, they should come to me, and I'll make them realize that, understand that photography is not writing. You have to deal with the object. You have to make people see or understand what you mean by the picture, what the picture means. Yeah.
Now, Doctor, you've had other exhibitions before, but what is different about this one?
Is that this one dates back from the 50s when I started photography. So it carries me up to 1986. Yeah.
All right. Well, Doctor, it was a pleasure having you on the show. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Where are the pictures?
The second annual Africa Magic Viewers' Choice Awards took place earlier this month in Nigeria. It saw the Ghanaian movie Contract starring South African actor Hlomla Dandala swoop up a number of awards.
I want a woman who's normal, not very ugly, not very sexy, but definitely smart, and definitely not one of those clever cats obsessed with finding a rich...
Although dominated by Nigerian talents and productions, the awards this year were more pan-African than before. Ghanaian film Contract took Best Director, Best Movie, Best Video Editor, and Best Writer. It stars South African actor Hlomla Dandala. Here he tells SABC's Morning Live on the experience of making a movie in Ghana.
This was my first time making a movie outside of South Africa, but within the continent. And for it to immediately get such great reviews means, well, we've obviously done something right.
The baby again, you go away, I keep the baby is mine.
The comedy tells a story of a successful 40-year-old businessman and bachelor. Despite his mother's persistent attempts to find him a woman, he sticks to his rule of casual dates. He later realizes his desire to have a child. Actor Hlomla Dandala also received the Best Actor trophy earlier this year. Contract was the brainchild of Ghanaian actress Yvonne Okoro, who also stars in the film.
German cultural project Kamina Burana is fusing Namibian music in its new project. This one is called Kamina Burana and Africana and will showcase in the Namibian capital, Windhoek, and the town of Swakopmund this month.
Karl Uff's new project has been developed by German Sing Academy Nieder Sachsen, as well as Amdi Kun Choir from Windhoek. The event is to have 96 singers, instrumentals and soloists from Germany and roughly the same number of Namibian singers. The aim is to produce a concert of dialogue, with participants creating new music. German ambassador to Namibia, Ono Hoekman, will attend the concert and deliver welcoming remarks. The African songs included into the concert will be completing the theme of Oof's music. The concert will also coincide with Namibia's Independence Day on 21st March.
We will now go for a quick ad break. See you right after. Harare is currently being treated to films from French-speaking countries. The Francophonie Week Film Festival in the Zimbabwean capital is organized by South African French organization. It is currently running until the 22nd of March 2014.
Harare is currently being treated to films from French-speaking countries. The Francophonie Week Film Festival in the Zimbabwean capital is organized by the Alliance Française. These are just some of the films showing in Harare this week. They are part of the Francophonie Week Film Festival, taking place until March the 22nd. The World Belong to Us was the opening film. A huge highlight this year is a singing competition called Sing Your Way to Paris. 14 to 26-year-olds will get a chance to enter a singing competition, perform a French song, and possibly win an all-expenses-paid trip to the French capital. Tonight's singer, Hope Masike, will headline a show titled Saturday Night Concert at the Alliance Française.
The annual Market for African Performing Arts Festival took place in Abidjan. More than 400 dancers, musicians, and artists gathered to promote their craft in the Ivory Coast. It's the festival's first year back after a 7-year break.
After taking a 7-year break, the Market for African Performing Arts, MASA in short, brought up excitement when it came back to Ivory Coast this year. The theme for the week was the performing arts faced with the challenge of the digital age. Some of the performers include the group The Tambus du Burundi. This event aims to bring together musicians, dancers, actors, and more from all over the continent. Yakuba Konate, who runs MASA, says it's not an easy event to organize.
The difficulties we had faced were essentially financial. We had to look for funds, and we got them little by little, above all, very late.
Eventually, he managed to find more than 480 performers. One of them was Yamusa Kamara, the founder and manager of the Mandingo Circus in Guinea.
En tant qu'Africain, donc, on aimerait vraiment, bien sûr, de tourner en Europe.
As Africans, of course, we would like to tour in Europe, but to tour in Africa is already magnificent. It is a real goal because being recognized at home is really tremendous.
And there was stand-up comedy, storytelling theater, and fashion.
We have included fashion as one of the disciplines because it is a living art, because we think that fashion through the business it generates through textiles, crosses through haute couture, through the promotion of our textile heritage at its place at MASA.
Some performers were hoping that they can utilize digital opportunities in order to market and promote African artists.
International Dance World Cup competition is here in South Africa. It is currently taking place in Pretoria at the Atterbury Theatre. In 2004, more than 30 countries were selected to host the Dance World Cup. Each year, one country is chosen to host this event. We are joined from our Pretoria studios today by Marilyn Gush. Marilyn is the representative from Dance World Cup South Africa. Hello, Marilyn, and welcome to Afroshowbiz Newz.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Now, Marilyn, tell us a bit about what the Dance World Cup is.
Well, it's a competition, a dance competition, where more than 28 countries from all over the world take part. And each country holds the preliminary rounds to qualify to take part in the final of the Dance World Cup, which this year will be held in Portugal.
Now, Marilyn, when was this competition and why was it started?
It was for the love of dance. Our chairman, John, is with us in South Africa at the moment, John Grimshaw, and they are currently at the Atterbury Theatre today and tomorrow, judging the South African preliminary round, which will take part, those that qualify will take part in Portugal this year, and he has brought with him the top UK judge, Mary Wallish. We also have South African judges, Monique McCord, Leanne van Breda, and Paul Majaji.
Now, Marilyn, what are some of the dances that are incorporated in this competition?
We have all genres. We have ballet, tap, modern jazz, contemporary. We have from the ages from very young children all the way up to 26 years of age.
When selecting your winners, what criteria do you follow?
There's a very strict marking system which the judges have to mark according to, and people are actually quite shocked when they are used to winning like a local festival and then find that they're marked much lower because of this criteria in order to qualify to go over.
Now, Marilyn, please tell us about the qualifiers for this year's competition.
We don't yet know who will be qualifying because it only started at 9 o'clock today, but those that do qualify, the top dancers are sponsored to go over. Overseas, the others carry their own costs. Over and above that, the lesser privileged, quite a few lesser privileged people have been sponsored to take part in the qualifying round.
Now, Marilyn, do you know perhaps how many people will be going to Portugal this year?
People, I don't know, more than 28 countries, but it's a large amount of people.
Now, as compared to other dance competitions previously, how is this one different?
Well, the exposure to go and measure yourself against the best in the world is a wonderful experience, where previously I think we were very isolated and our dancers could only compete against each other in our own country. But now they have the opportunity of going and competing against the best in the world.
Now, Marilyn, you're also one of the judges at this event. Tell us exactly what you will be looking for.
Well, the important thing, of course, is to see whether the candidate is ready to go and compete overseas against the best. And the way you would judge that is their knowledge of the dance that they've been given to do, the criteria that has been given to the teachers. They know what is expected and whether this has been carried out and whether the child is on stage performing to the best of the ability that she has or he has. Also the choreography that has been given to the child in order to perform their work. And their technique is very important, their personality, their projection.
Now, Marilyn, in terms of selection, what are the age groups that will be taking part in the competition?
As I said, from a very young age, they have the very young children, and they can go all the way up to 26. You can't go, that's your last year of competing.
All right. Now, could you please take us through the funding of the competition? How is the competition funded?
Money had to be raised, sponsorship had to be raised. It was a lot of, as we can think, a lot of money. Our organizer in South Africa, Mr. Chris Stapelberg, has really done an excellent job in order to get this and put this event on the table for dancers in South Africa to be able to take part. And he's the one that also organizes sponsorship for the lesser privileged to be able to take part, so that it's not just for those that are in the top bracket.
All right, Marilyn, that is where we'll have to leave it, but thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
The Library Information Association of South Africa is celebrating South African Library Week from the 15th to the 22nd of March. Under the theme Celebrating Libraries in 20 Years, librarians across the country will be hosting special programs to highlight the service and availability of resources. This is to also highlight freedom of access to information. Furthermore, the top 20 South African books picked by these librarians will be announced during the week. Anjan Sudaram has worked across the African continent as a journalist. The book we're looking at this week is titled Stringer. Anjan Sundaram's book is called Stringer. A stringer is a freelance journalist who works with no regular salary, no living allowance, and often no travel subsidy. His journey starts off in Congo. His reasons to become a stringer are not quite clear. At the time, he was a student at Yale embarking on his business studies. He then quits university and goes to Congo as he is facing a harsh reality. When the war breaks out over disputed election results, Sundaram becomes one of the few reporters in the war zone. The author skillfully captures the smallest details of life in the needy land. He blends in the history of Congo with the battle to make a successful career in this book. Stringer retails at 177 Rand on Kindle, and the hardcover is 212 Rand on Amazon.com. You are still watching Afroshowbiz News. If you have missed any of our shows, visit our YouTube channel by simply searching for Afroshowbiz News. Let's go for a quick ad break. Do stay tuned for more. Let's go to the Ugandan capital, Kampala, now where fashion decider Latif Madoy makes clothes in under 20 minutes.
Some designers will require a day or two to put their pieces together. However, it's a different story for Ugandan designer Latif Madoy. With his creative, unique style, he's able to make finished dresses in just minutes. In less than 20 minutes, 8 models get measured. The fabric is cut and the pieces stitched together. His average speed is 3 to 4 minutes per piece.
Done with formulas, I cannot explain that any further, but I mean, it includes a lot of statistics, formulas applied, I mean, turning things, for example, simplifying things. So this is the simplest way you can make a complex dress within a limited time.
Some fashion critics have called his designs ordinary. Despite this, they admit the process is quite unique. The race against time has won the designer much acclaim. Madoy has taken his show on the road, performing at various international events. He has also made clothes for Jamaican reggae music star Buzi Signal and the late South African legend Lucky Dube.
Whatever came out, you're like, oh, okay, I didn't expect it to come that way, but it really came out really perfect. So it was quite breathtaking and very nice.
While Madoy has found success at live events, he says penetrating the local clothes market is a struggle. Uganda's fashion conscious are inclined to international brands, whether brand new or second-hand. Fashion critics say that while other African countries like Nigeria and South Africa have created an identity for their clothes internationally, Uganda designers still need to find originality.
Let's visit the area of Al-Shafai in Egypt. It's an impoverished place where now a group of young people have found a way to keep themselves busy and the community entertained through performing arts.
Many children in Al-Shafai, Egypt, grow up facing the burden of economic hardship. Their neighborhood is within the City of the Dead, an area with the mausoleums that have gradually been inhabited by the poor. A local theater troupe is now giving the area's youth a platform to express themselves. The Al-Shafai Street Arts Troupe was started by performer Islam Said.
I decided from here to start to take interest in the idea of street performance. I believe that after the January 25th revolution, Egypt needs street theater. Egypt needs a different kind of awareness for the people far from the media, television and control culture, which we are constantly placed within.
Their next play will explore what he terms the gradual destruction of the area's rich historical legacy. The troupe performs for free and survives entirely through donations.
Initially, the play was a street production, and it led to someone coming up and ask what we were doing. The person told us no one should sing here.
Some are lucky enough to devote themselves full-time to studying performance. Many are either still students or work full-time. As Egypt's long, rough patch continues, the arts become less and less prioritized. Young people like this constantly face resistance. But for some groups like Al-Shafai Troupe are the only places they can truly be free.
Good things come to an end. However, do catch our repeats every Sunday at 2 a.m. and again at 1:30 p.m. We will be playing out with the Dance Competition South Africa. It's been good from me and the team. It's thank you and goodbye.
This is my winter song to you. The storm is coming soon. It rolls in from the sea. My voice